Blood 2. Redo. I reincarnated. I was reborn. Although I was confused and didn't understand that fact at the beginning, I accepted the reality after a few days. At the beginning, I thought it was a dream. I became sleepy immediately, and the consciousness is fluffy to consider it as a reality, so I can't calm down. Therefore, I thought that this is the event in the dream that I was dozing off during while in class. But, as expected, there's no way the dream that continues for a few days. The present me... Present me is a baby. I sleep, wake up, and eat, and release it, cry, and sleep again. Such a life. I observed the surroundings at the interval, and tried to understand my present situation. First of all, here is not Japan. It's certain. Moreover, it doesn't seem to be the Earth. There's no black hair and eye in the surroundings, and there's no electrical appliance at all. Although it's an atmosphere like Europe in the Middle Ages, the era like there are electrical appliance if it's not a remote place in Africa nowadays, and it's strange that there's no convenience of civilization even if it's the countryside of Europe. Is this the one called the different world reincarnation? The dead person is reborn with the memory of the previous life in a different world. Although I didn't think that such a thing happens to my body, it's no use even if I grieve that it happened as the reality now. Rather than grieving the things that happened, it's more constructive to think about the future. In addition, I welcome the present situation. After all, I was reborn. My new life that was released from the previous appearance. It starts. I can't help but to be glad. I encourage myself that my parents are beautiful. As for my mother, it feels like she has an Ojo-sama atmosphere. As for my father, it's the atmosphere opposite with such mother, a competent man atmosphere. And both are unique, both are beautiful. If I have such beautiful people as parents, I must be beautiful. And, apparently, my parents seem to be the people who have high status. The room where I am is considerably wide. If it's only the wideness, it's absolutely wider than the cheap apartment that I lived in the previous life. And there are some attendants. It looks like it's not the king, but it seems to be certain that they are nobles. God must have given a reward to me who had a hard time in the previous life. A happy smile overflows naturally when I think about the life in the future. Seeing that maiden mother who take care of me are attracted and smiled, I was happy. The baby's sleeping time is long. Although it's long, of course, there's the time when I wake up. And if it's the baby, I don't have anything to do. Somehow, I'm a nocturnal person, and the time I woke up was more in the night. As expected, I don't want to cry at night with the body that was a high school student in the previous life. Although I can't help but to be obedient to physiological desire, I hesitated to wake up my family and attendants only for the reason that I'm free. I use such free time to practice magic. There's magic in this world. There's a man who could use the magic of the fire among the attendants, and I witnessed that the person set fire to the lamp. The boys in the elementary school and the junior high school imitate the manga at that time, and I thought that these guys are idiots, but I think that I understand the feeling of the boys at that time. If there's magic, I want to use it. I began practicing magic in order to satisfy the desire. Even if I say that, I don't know how to use magic. I did various trial and error in the short time when I could stay awake while groaning. As a result, I came to understand the thing called magic power somehow. Skill proficiency reached. Acquired skill, magic perception level 1. It was approximately simultaneous that I grasped the feeling of magical power and the voice was heard. Although not much time has passed to calling it as nostalgic, the Japanese that's heard for the first time in this world. I look around restlessly, but there's no one. Even though there's no one, I feel eerie to the mysterious voice that I heard, and I can't fall asleep easily on that day. The identity of the voice seems to be the voice of God. The thing called skill exists in this world, and the voice of God seems to be audible when someone acquires it the level rises. As a result of connecting the conversation that I heard in fragments and inferred it, such an information was obtained. So she, barely learned their language that quickly. I guess that happens when you're literally surrounded by a bunch of people all speaking the same language. You'll pick up bits of it. But there's a sense of incongruity that the voice of God is Japanese. The conversation of this world that I heard is not Japanese. It's not English, too. It might be this world's original language. From the fact that it doesn't sound like Japanese at all in fragments, when people other than me hear the voice of God, it should be the normal language here. If that's the case, why only me who hear it in Japanese? The one that thought is the owner of this voice is the God that reincarnate me in this world. Then it's not strange even if Japanese is spoken. I gave thanks to the voice of God that can be heard in my heart quietly. Like that, I grew up slowly. Because it's inconvenient that I can't move, I began practicing the crawling early, although I came to be able to do it comparatively immediately. Because they still have doubts even if I begin to move too early, I make sure that I don't move as much as possible in the presence of others. I learn the language. Although it's hard to say that I learned all, I can understand the contents of conversation to some extent. I eavesdrop on the conversation and understand this world little by little. The religion called the goddess religion, culture and history, the status of this family, I learn them little by little. Both the way of thinking and the common sense are different from Japan. I compare it in myself while feeling bewildered to the difference. And in the calm time, I enjoyed life as a baby. The incident happened in such a time. Oh, shit. So, yeah. So she's gonna... Yeah. So this is her story. This is her side of everything. Shit's gonna happen. She's gonna see Kumo once, and then she's gonna see her again. And then they're just gonna work together. I don't know. I like her, though. Akiko? Nageshi Akiko? I think that was her name.